Okay, so first, I want to say hello to everyone. So welcome to today's webinar. So I'm really excited to have you all here. Okay, so before we get started, let me know in the chat that where are you coming from today? Because I always love seeing how global this webinar is. And also a quick check, can you hear me clearly? If yes, just drop a yes in the chat. Okay, I see Noah from Canada, Liam from the US. Okay, so you guys hear me well, right? Okay. So many US audience today. Okay, so maybe we get start. Okay, so all right. Let me start with something really simple today. So as you know, AI agents are finally good enough to actually use in real work. And the people who start using that AI agent early are going to have a very unfair advantage. If you have been around for a while, you probably started hearing about AI agents maybe 1 to 2 years ago. Tools like Make, n8n, or some early automation workflow, and yes, they worked. But let's be honest, the tools in the past, their workflows broke all the time. Agents are unreliable, and you have to like babysit everything. And sometimes it took more time than just doing it by yourself. Okay, so most people tried it, and then people quietly gave up. And until now, here's the thing, in early 2026, things like have changed a lot. The technology is now like more stable, more user-friendly, even for non-technical users. You don't have to know any code. And most importantly, agents actually understand tasks better, and they don't just follow instruction. They can reason, adapt, and collaborate. Okay, and this is where it gets really interesting. Like the way we work is starting to like change. Okay, so you are no longer just one person working alone. You can now like operate a team of an all AI agent at the same time. Okay, so this agent can help you with things like research, summarizing information, drafting content, automating workflows, or handling some repetitive tasks, and basically all the things that slow you down every day. Okay, so right now, knowing how to use AI agent is a very real advantage. You don't need to be like a deep technical expert, but you do need to know that how to break down tasks, how to write a clear prompt, and how to review output. And finally, how to gradually improve your workflow. And at some point, everyone here should start thinking about like how do I build my own team of AI agent that work for me every day? And that's exactly where today's tune come in. So okay, right now, I want to introduce you one of the most powerful tools to do this. It is like OpenClaw. Have you heard about OpenClaw before? Okay, so alongside tools like Plot in a co-working setup, but OpenClaw gives you a very unique way to actually build and operate your own AI agent system. Okay, so in today's workshop, we're going to break this step by step, not just theory, but how you can actually use it in your daily workflow. Okay, so before we jump in, I'm just curious that have you ever tried using AI agent before? You can type the answer in the chat. Okay, I see a lot of yes. So okay, let's get into it. I you still can see the slide. Okay, so first, what actually is OpenClaw? OpenClaw is an AI agent and it was created by an Austrian developer named Peter Steinberger. And he's the founder of PDS PDF Kit. He launched it in November 2025 and originally under the name Clawbot, then briefly Molebot after a trademark conflict, and finally it landed on the OpenClaw. Okay, so the lobster mascot mostly survived every single name change, and now here's the interesting part. Within the like 72 hour of launch, OpenClaw hit over like more than 60,000 GitHub star. And that's one of the largest growing open source project in history. And by early 2026, it has surpassed 20,000 GitHub stars and more than Linux. Jason Huang from NVIDIA dedicated a major keynote section into it. Amazon, Tencent, Baidu, and NVIDIA all built product on top within a week. Okay, so this is not a niche developer toy. This is a beginning of a completely new category of software. Okay, so what makes OpenClaw different from every AI chatbot that you've have used before? So think about it this way. Most AI tools are like a brilliant friend. So you can only text, you ask, and then you like have the answer back. That's it. But OpenClaw is different. OpenClaw is an AI agent, meaning it doesn't just answering your question. It takes real-world action into your behalf. So there's three things that make it fundamentally different. The first one is it comes to you. OpenClaw doesn't live in another tab. It lives inside the tools you use like every day, like WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, or iMessage. So you message it like a texting a coworker. Okay, secondly, it actually does things. A regular chatbot gives you answer and OpenClaw take action. It can browse website, read your files, send emails, schedule posts, run research, and like manage your calendar. And that's the difference between conversation and execution. And the third and finally, it has like persistent memory like OpenClaw store what it learned about you in a local markdown file. Short-term memory logs today's section. Long-term memory like store in a file called memory.md. It holds your brand voice, your niche, your schedule, your preference, and like you tell it something on Tuesday, it still know on Friday. You never like have to explain yourself. Okay, next. What is a skill system? So before we jump into setup, there's one more concept you need to understand, and it's actually like make OpenClaw so powerful. So like OpenClaw has two building, its tools and skills. Okay, so tools are OpenClaw's hand, and it can like physically do browse the web, read the file, send the message, run code, and like some physical thing. Another thing is skills. So skills are like OpenClaw's textbooks. They teach the agent how to combine those hands to complete a specific workflow. So here's a simple analogy. Tools like are hands, skills are like the cooking class that teach those hands how to actually make a meal. Okay, so there are some real-world use cases that you like can use OpenClaw on your work. There's three like examples that I give you here. The first one is content creator. The second thing is marketer, and the third one is for entrepreneur. Next is what you need to know before starting. So quick but important note before we go into the setup. And I want to be like upfront with you here because this is where a lot of people get like surprised. OpenClaw itself is free to run, but it needs an AI model to function, and that's where costs come in. OpenClaw is just an AI agent, not a chatbot. So every task it completes trigger multiple API calls, typically like 5 to 10 or more. So the usage add up faster than you might expect from a regular chat session. Okay, so for a casual content creation, you're looking at roughly like about $3 to $15 per month, and heavy daily usage could run about like 30 to more than $80 per month. It's really depending on the complexity of your task. Okay, so one more important thing, your regular cloud AI subscription does not work here. You need a separate Anthropic API key to like from consoles.anthropic.com is a completely different building system. Okay, so next is three things you need to know before starting. First, you have to like have your in order to build your OpenClaw, first you have to have your hosting platform. So as an example today, I recommend you the AI agent. An agent 37 account. So this will be your hosting platform today, and it handles all the infrastructure you that you don't have to. It gives you the Docker. It also set up your VPS to you and no terminal nightmare. Next, you have to prepare like your API key from some AI provider. So this will be your agent brains. So you can prefer like of the list here. Okay, next you have to like prepare your Telegram account. This is optional because you can also chat on your web chat of OpenClaw. But if you want it to be like integrated in your workflow every day, you can integrate the OpenClaw into your Telegram bot. Okay, so why we use AI, why we use Agent 37 for OpenClaw or not manual install? Okay, so before we jump into the setup, here's one important question we need to answer, like why are we using Agent 37 as the platform to run OpenClaw? Okay, so here's the answer, because technically you can run OpenClaw in different ways, but in practice, not all setups are equal. So let me simplify this. If OpenClaw is your AI agent brain, then Agent 37 is the environment where that brain can actually live and work. Okay, so now here's the reality. Running AI agent like OpenClaw is not just about installing a tool. You need a stable environment, enough compute power, always on execution, and the ability to connect with the other tools. So if you try to run this locally on your laptop, it can work, but your machine might not be stable enough. Like things can break easily. You have to manage everything yourself, and your agent stop working the moment you close your laptop, which completely defeats the idea of automation. And this is where Agent 37 becomes like very powerful. Agent 37 gives you a ready-to-use environment, especially designed for running AI agent. Think of it like think of AI agent like no, think of Agent 37 like a cloud workspace, a pre-configured, optimized for agent workflow and always running in the background. One more thing is Agent 37 makes it much easier to connect OpenClaw with like APIs, external tools, and automation system, which means your agent is not just thinking, they can actually do things. All right, so now that you understand why we chose Agent 37 for the platform and environment. And now let's move into the actual setup and start building your first OpenClaw agent. You guys still there? Because now I'm going to guide you how to set up your OpenClaw. Okay, so here's the AI agent website. You have to access to the Agent 37 website, which is agent37.com. And here's the dashboard, the interface when you first like log in and access the website. And as you can see here, first you have to like purchase your seat. You can choose your seat to be like on the basic plan, pro plan, or the max plan. Okay, so as you can see here, you can choose between basic, pro, and max. And I already bought 2 seats. Mia have like set up one OpenClaw bot before, and now I'm going to teach you how to create another one. Okay, so here's the interface, and in the top right, you click at the Create Bot button here and choose your plan. So now I'm just use the basic plan. Okay, then you need a little bit for it to like launch. And the price is like really reasonable for me. The basic plan is just $3.99 per month. The pro maybe like, I don't remember, but maybe $39 per month. The launching will take about like 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, so when Agent 37 launch your OpenClaw bot, then you have to like customize a little bit, like your name. Okay, I see one question here. What's the difference between this plan? It not show here, but like it will different in like storage and RAM and like many other function. The higher level will have the higher function, right? My team will like answer specifically in the chat for you. Here's the OpenClaw bot that I have created. when Agent 37 create a bot for you, then you have to like customize it. In order to do that, you click at the terminal button here to open the terminal window. Okay, so now you type exactly this command and press enter. Okay, so the command will be you have to onboard your OpenClaw. So you type OpenClaw onboard, and then click enter. Okay, so that single command launches the OpenClaw onboarding wizard. A guide, a guided setup in plain English. No config file, no developer knowledge needed. And if you see the wizard asking you questions, that means it's working. And just follow each prompt at a time. Okay, so you follow each prompt. So here, you move your answer by your keyboard. So it asks me that this is a personal by default and shared multi-user requires lockdown. So continue yes or no. I will choose yes. And it's really like friendly, user friendly. So I set up the quick start mode. Okay. What's this? Okay. Then you can choose between these options. Okay, so here's the important part. You choose your model for OpenClaw to like search and answer question for you. So you can choose between a wide range of models here, but I recommend you to like connect it with OpenRouter. OpenRouter is a third party. We connected you to a wide range of model. Okay, so I will choose the OpenRouter. So as you can see, each tool will like require its API key. Enter, and then it will require us to like enter the OpenRouter API key. So we will open OpenRouter. Okay, so then you sign into your OpenRouter account and then click Get API key, and you can create a new one, or like I have created a API key before, but I cannot share it with you guys. So let me stop sharing screen for like 10 seconds to copy paste, and then I will share it back. Okay. One more thing that you cannot like normally paste your text here. You cannot like Control V. In order to paste text, you have to like right click your mouse and then choose paste, or Control Shift and then choose V. Okay, so here's our API key. Next, you have to choose your model. As you can see, OpenRouter gives you many like choice of model. So I recommend you to choose the Cloud Sonnet 4.6 because it's smart, but it's also like take from you a lot of token, a lot of like credit. It's not cheap. If you want to like integrate your OpenClaw bot into your Telegram account, you can choose here or skip it. Okay, so I will show you how to integrate OpenClaw into your Telegram account. So you choose Telegram and click enter. Ask you how do you want to provide this Telegram bot token. You can enter your bot token here. Okay, so now it's require you to enter your Telegram bot token. So as you can see, it has the guide here. So first you open Telegram and chat with bot father. So I will open my Telegram. Okay, then I chat with bot father. Okay, so here's the bot that I have created before. First, you click at the new bot button here. Here, new bot button. Then you name your Telegram bot. And then if it's success, it will give you the API key here, API token. Then you just have to like paste it in your terminal window. Okay. And then you have to set up your search provider. So like for this setup, it will decide how your OpenClaw will search information when you ask your task. For each option, you have to provide each API key too. I can just skip it, or you can use the Brave search. It doesn't require API. Okay, so configure skills now. You have to choose yes, but I like have no skills to install, so I will skip it. So if there is a list like this, in order to choose something, you have to click at the space button. Okay. Then it will ask you to set up some like tools like Google Space, Notion, OpenAI, 11 Labs. If you have your API key, you can choose yes and enter your API key here. Okay, enable hook. I will skip it. Okay, so it's almost done. This question is ask you where you want to chat with OpenClaw next. You can chat it in the TUI here or open the web. I will choose it here. Okay, so as you can see, here's the chat that it automatically type. You can also open it by click at the Agent 37 dashboard and click at the web chat button here. Okay, so here's the interface when it bumped into your OpenClaw chat. So you can say hi. Okay, as you say hi before here, it gives you the answer. Hey, I just came online fresh slate, no memory, no name yet. So you can name your OpenClaw assistant. It asks who am I and who are you. So you have to introduce to the OpenClaw. Okay, so I will name it. I'm Dyson. Your boss, and you are, I can name it like Mary, my assistant. Okay, then it will like save the memory, and then when you have some tests to do, just tell it here. Okay, so that's all the setup that I want to show you. So next, there are some use case in the real workflow. So Mia will share this section for you. Okay, so Mia, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I will stop sharing my screen.
Okay, so before we start with the use cases, I want to talk a little bit about what to keep in mind before we setting up the use cases for the OpenClaw. So now there are a few things that while you setting up your OpenClaw, first you shouldn't overhype the OpenClaw because it is powerful, but it's still in the early phase, and it can be amazing when used correctly and very frustrating when used carelessly. It's not something that you install it and instantly get a perfect workflow. So therefore, you need to guide it and you need to set the boundaries around the tools, the permissions, and the workflows. And the second thing that you should keep in mind is your model matters a lot. Seeing the open clause is only as good as the brain that you attach to it. So if you connect a weak model, you will get a weaker planning, the weaker reasoning, or the weaker execution. And it's more even confusion in the complex workflows. And the third things that I want you to keep in mind is a lot of people think installing OpenClaw is the hard part, but actually installation is easy. The real challenge starts after you install it because you must to set up the configuring your Telegram or your Discord channels, or you must add more skills for your OpenClaw. You must understand the workspace files or even set up the cron jobs or fix things when they drift or break. So I'm gonna guide you later so that you cannot you might not have some mistake like that. And the fourth thing is this is really important. You just don't start by connecting everything at once. Don't give access to your whole Notion or Gmail or your whole computer system or a bunch of new skills in one day. Actually, you can start from the narrow, from one model, one channel, one test workflow, and then you can expand it later. And that's actually will save you a lot of trouble. And before we move into the files and skills, let me explain the commands that matter most. There are the three key commands that you need to keep in mind. The first one is for the OpenClaw configure. I'm gonna open my chat with OpenClaw here. Okay, so we will move to the terminal. So you can type this command, OpenClaw configure. So this command lets you reopen this setup or change the important settings. Okay, so this is a little bit typo here. OpenClaw config. All right, so for example, if you want to change your model or you want to add or change the type of channel like Telegram or Discord, or you want to update your gateway or workspace setting, or you want just to reconfigure the web tools or interpretation, you can type this command so that you can change all of the settings for your OpenClaw agent. And if you said something wrong the first time, configure is how you revisit it. Okay. And the second command is the OpenClaw Doctor. So OpenClaw Doctor is the troubleshooting helper for you. If something feels broken or weird or incomplete, this type of command can help you detect missing the pieces and problems in the setup. And you should think of the doctor like a health check. Yeah, so it can check all of the files that you have been typing to. And also, the third command that you can use is the OpenClaw skill check. If you want to check that what are the skills that you can use for your AI agents or what are the missing skills that you need to set up. Skill check. So as you can see here, these are the skills that ready to use, and these are the missing skills. If you want to set up, you can turn it on. So for example, I have the skills access to Claw Hub, the health check, the Node Connect, the session logs in, the skill creator, and there are some of the missing requirements if you want to download other skills, and you can check it here. Okay, so and another thing that I want you to keep in mind is the OpenClaw workspace. So you can check in here. You can go into the agents, files, and there are some of the core files from the OpenClaw workspace. And these files are the core skills that can create your own personal AI agent. So it has a workspace with the files that shape how it behaves, and a few especially important files are the first one is agent empty. This is one of the most important files. It helps define the agent behavior, like what kind of agent it is, how it should operate, how it should respond. So you can see the command here. And for the soul files, this can shape your personality and tone for your AI agent, how your AI agent speaks, how it comes across, its style or vibe. And for the identity MD, it helps define its identity, of course, who it is supposed to be in the system, like its name, the role, the personality markers. So you can see here that my AI agent name is Henry. The vibe here is helpful, direct, and a bit casual. And for the user files, this contains the information about me. And it can tell like who am I, what are my preferences, how I work with my agents, and how we should remember about me as the owner. And for the memory file, it is the long term. This is the long term memory, and it can have the important learnings, the preferences, the recurring patterns, and useful knowledge that should gradually flow in here. Since I just created, so there is no long term memory in here. So this file may not even exist by default at first. So sometimes you need to intentionally create and maintain it later. For the heartbeat file, this is a very important file. Heartbeat is where you keeps the you keep your AI agent alive on repeating cycle. Heartbeat runs periodically and can execute whatever instructions you put there. So that might include memory maintenance, to-do updates, or cron health check. So here is the markdown of the heartbeat. And actually, after my conversations with my AI agent, it will ultimately like have the prompt for the heartbeat to make everything work smoothly. And you can see here, this is the skill folders. It has the bunch of built-in skills in here. So every installed skill will end up here. When you install skills, you're not just adding the magic itself. You adding the instruction files and the tool definitions into the workspace. So this is actually a big mindset for the OpenClaw setup. If you understand these files, OpenClaw becomes less intimidating for you. So how you can import the skills into your OpenClaw, you can access to Claw Hub. So this is the official marketplace for the OpenClaw skills. So that's where I use the public skills that you can browse and install here. These are all the public skills. And a skill is basically an instruction layer that teaches the model how to do something special. So it can do like things like interact with Notions or any other platform that you can keep your API from, or it can summarize your content, it can transcribe your audio, or connect with Google tools, or even perform your own customized workflow. So as you can see here, a skill is often just a markdown style instruction file that tells the AI how to use an API or a system in a task-oriented way. But actually, there's a warning because skills here, they are powerful, but they also have like the security risks that when you install them blindly. Because as you can see that anyone can publish skills, so you should be careful with them. My advice here is you can browse in the Cloud Hub for ideas, for inspirations for your own skills, but just don't install everything that you see here. You must check what the skill does, what the permissions it needs, check whether it needs API keys or whether it's really necessary for your own AI agent. And another much safer way that I highly recommend is you should use your AI agent to inspect these public skills and ask it to recreate a safer version for your own. And one thing I want to note here, we will back into the chat conversations. Okay, so you can see here, it has the web fetch. So another thing that I want to mention is there are different levels of the web search here. When your AI agents do the task for you, sometimes OpenClaw just uses a simple web fetch or the search behavior to retrieve public information. But actually, other times, OpenClaw may use a managed browser to actually interact with websites. And then there are more advanced relay or extension-based setups when you want it to piggyback on a browser session or access logged-in environments in a more direct way. So, what all of this matter to you? Because when you ask it to like get the news or the public web search, it is actually web search is enough for you. But if you ask it to order groceries or like you want it to fill your forms, that is a different level of browser usage. So that's actually useful to understand from the early phases, because not all tasks use the same tooling under the hood. So for the use case that I'm gonna guide you, you can see here I mostly use the web fetch for getting the AI news or any other news that you want for every morning. So I'm gonna share my AI agent here. Can you see my screen? Okay, perfect. Okay, so as you can see here, my AI agent, Henry, his job is to create the AI. Like first, I asked it to help me to research and summarize the 10 latest news on the crypto news on all of these two websites. And I give it the structure summaries for it. But actually, if you want to, you want your AI agent to follow exactly what you want for your workflows, um, I want you to have these things in your mind. Like first, your topic, your frequency that you want it to send the news for you, the length of the summary or the format of the summary, what channel that you want it to deliver. So those are the key things that you want your AI agent to do exactly. And if you want to be more careful, you can start with a manual version first before you type the whole meta prompt like this. Like basically you can test with your AI agent first by sending the prompt like find the latest important AI news or crypto news, whatever type of topic news for you, and then like summarize the top 5 updates in the simple bullet points, etc. And then when it gives you a more satisfied structure, you can later optimize for the automation sending schedule for you. So if the agent can do that well manually, it won't like do it well on the cron schedule. So what to check here is you can check like does the good sources, or is the summary or too long, or is the format readable, or is it actually relevant? So you can check with your AI agent manually first. So this tab can help you to refine the prompt before you automate it. So once a manual prompt works, you can turn it into the recurring request. And here is my request for my AI agent. So in order to like my Henry to automate, give me the AI tools, give me the crypto news every 2 hours. This is how you call it like the cron schedule that you can see in the here, cron chop here. So all of these are the setting that I give for Henry. And you can even like setting another schedule directly on here for the name. You can give it like morning brief, description of the automation that you want your AI agent to do, the agent ID, like for the schedule, what time that you want it to send for you. So all of the tasks and prompt that you can do it directly in here for the cron chop. So cron chop here is actually a schedule stats. So for example, it can run every day at 8 a.m. or it can run every 2 hours, every 5 minutes, every weekday morning, depends on the preferences. And this what turns OpenClaw from just a chatbot into a proactive system. And for the heartbeat that I just mentioned you above, heartbeat here, it is more like maintenance pulse. Like it keeps the agent alive on a repeating interval or lets it run recurring maintenance or background checks. So for example, you want to check the memory maintenance, you want to check if today the memory file exists, or you just want to update your to-do list or check if the cron jobs failed or retriggering them if you need. Yeah, so the simple way to think about is grunt is a scheduled task you want to done, and the heartbeat is the recurring system pulse that keeps things healthy. So therefore, don't stop heartbeat with too much expensive behavior because it runs often and can waste tokens and credits quickly. Okay, so in this platform, as you can see here, there are two types. The first one is the heartbeat that I just mentioned above, and the second is the conversation with my AI agent on Telegram. So you can chat here, or you can even chat on Telegram here. Both are running automatically. These are my setup for my AI agent here. So as you can see that it's all the same. And one thing I want to note that sometimes when you set up with your Telegram AI agent and then you give it, the prompt and it cannot answer you, sometimes you must check the sessions. So this session for the agent main, it is for the main chat that you chatting with OpenClaw. And for the second session is the Telegram here. If you cannot have the conversation with your AI agent on Telegram, it might be you missing this one. And for these sessions here, the main cron, it is the scheduled task that I give for my AI agent to give me the crypto news every 2 hours. And I actually, yeah, that's you can see here. For the first time that I set up with my AI agent, it doesn't answer me at all. And then like I asked it to give me the pairing approval with the OpenClaw and Telegram, and then it gives me this one, and then you just copy paste this phrase into the terminal chat. Yeah, and then it works perfectly fine. So there are some of the errors that I want you to know. For the first setup, it can work manually like ChatGPT or Claude, but it is not on schedule because you are not setting up directly for it. Like every prompt has to be precise because it cannot understand what are your demands. And sometimes it sends like the repetitive summaries. Actually, that means that the prompt is too generic. So you try to tell it like to include only meaningful new updates seen the previous run. So these are the basic use cases that most beginners do with their daily tasks. And for the more advanced workflow, you can set up your AI agent to, after summarize the ideas, summarize the contents for you. You can set up for your AI agent to upload the content into your website. And in the more advanced, it can even like send the content throughout your Gmail or throughout the multiple platforms. But actually, it depends. It requires a lot of praise, so you must to set up carefully and automate it. And I want you to, as you can see that earlier, Claude also have the Claude Cowork. It's actually a better way. Like it's actually better for the users. Seeing the OpenClaw has many kind of risks when you set up on your local computer. Claw work, Claw Cowork can have the best task planning and execution that I actually tested, and it has the $250 per month for the max plan. It focused on getting things done, but it is not as deeply integrated into the tools yet, and it less personalization than the OpenCloud, and it actually doesn't have the persistent memory because it needs the documentations or it needs the context fed manually. But for OpenClaw, it is better ongoing memory. As you can see that I also put here for the long-term memories that you can see. So it can be more personalized for you. It can integrate it more commands or more channels like WhatsApp, Discord, or Telegram. But it's costs a lot of credits. It breaks frequently. Too many errors happen, and you have to handle the hosting and setup. And sometimes you might get confused on the complex workflows. So and even I have the conversation with my AI agent, and it actually like mistake the conversations for many other things. So therefore you need to very precise. Okay, so that is actually all of the use case that I want to mention in this workshop today. And I want you to note that OpenClaw is still in the early phase, although it is super powerful, it is useful, but it's still imperfect. It's flexible, but it like requiring a lot of demands. But in the bigger picture, we are moving from asking AI questions to assigning AI work, and the systems like OpenClaw are like the early examples of the AGI or the AI agent automations for you. So even if OpenClaw itself changes or Claude Cowork evolves or other players join these competitions, the skill that matters is the same. It is you to understand how to manage your personal AI agent. So to wrap up today, we just cover for you how to set up the OpenClaw. What are some of the keynotes that you must to keep in mind while you set up, for example, some of the skills in the OpenClaw workspace, the skills installed in Claw Hub, or some of the mistakes that you might make during the setup with OpenClaw. And I also recommend some of the use cases when you use your AI agent. So I hope that you can, after this workshop, you can try your own AI agent. You can build one useful workflow and see how it's going, how you understand and how it understands you, and then you can expand your AI agent's workflow. And that's how OpenClaw becomes generally useful instead of just you just seeing it. All right, so let me check the chat. Are there any other questions? Thank you for all the compliments. If you have any other questions, you can type here and then we can give you the answers. Are there any confusion about the setup, or are there any like things you might want to ask for setting up your AI agent or any other? Okay, a lot of compliments. So someone asked, do you think running this on OpenClaw is gonna cost a lot? And how much? As my team said earlier, the agents 37, they have the three plans, as you can see here. And for the basic workflow that you can try to test with your AI agent, you can go with this one. And it has the limited seat, start with one. And then sometimes during the peak hour, you can get like this VBS might not work because it has the high capacity that you cannot access to OpenClaw on Agent 37. So that's why that you might upgrade to the Pro session here. It has more RAM for you, it has more storage for you, and you can even like run for the more advanced workflows. Okay, Tyson, do you have anything to say with our audience here?
All right, so as I see that, maybe there's no more question. People just thank us a lot. Okay, so maybe I will be the one who wraps things up here. Okay, so first of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined today. And I really appreciate you taking the time to spend part of your day with us, especially since I know many of you are joining from like different time zones around the world. And I hope today's section give you a clearer view on how you can use OpenClaw and how to set up and how to like apply it into your daily workflow. More importantly, how you can combine and apply OpenClaw into your own workflow. I just want to say thank you and really appreciate you guys for like attending from the beginning to till the end, and it really means so much for us. Okay, so thank you for being here, and we will try our best for the next AFI webinar. How about you, Mia?
Yeah, I also hope that we can have more workshops like this with more audience, so that we can share our knowledge to a broader audience. And I hope that I can see you guys at the next week workshop. Okay, so I think that we will end our meeting today. Goodbye, everyone.